which is...
Was it hanging out the shorts?
Oh, it was fucking close to it. Apparently he's got a big hog. Spoke to one of their players.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta know. I gotta know.
Make me feel better.
Is it fucking massive? They're like, yep. I said I knew it. Have to be. All right, F2. F2. Welcome back. QOSA pod. How have we been, boys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good. Got any more?
No, nothing else.
That's
pretty
it.
Good.
It's like talking to a client.
You been doing anything?
No, not really.
Nah. What, working?
Working, breathing.
Breathing, drinking Monster.
Yeah.
Sam, have you been doing anything? Because this
I mean,
bloke
a little,
boring as fuck.
I guess a little more than him. Gone to the footy.
Yeah.
Cats are looking good.
The cats. Yeah, yous are.
They were looking all right.
Richmond's not. Oh boy.
Saw Jez kick 10
Did he end up kicking 10?
in the flesh.
I stopped watching at quarter time.
Yeah, so he had 7 by then.
I tipped the doggies.
Come on.
I also tipped Carlton Thursday.
I tipped Carlton as well, actually. I'm leading the tipping, if you don't want to talk about tips.
What are you on? I don't know. This is what the people.
Pod
want to
no, they
talk
don't.
about. What are you on, just quickly?
No idea.
I need to know.
I need to know. I'm leading though. In every comp I'm in, so 2.
Oh, you must be doing all right then.
I was at one stage top 1,000 in ESPN tipping
Shit,
out of 800,000.
that's solid.
I was doing all right.
Doing all right.
Do you have a degree in it? So I hope so.
Sports better. Analytics.
Sure. Yeah, there we go. Nailed it. Other than that, not too much.
Not too much.
Footy's taken over. How about you?
I've been getting out and about. A few music events, a few gigs. Been getting down to the beach. The normal stuff for me, yeah.
There was something you were meant to tell me that I still haven't.
What?
Yeah, you had a bombshell for the pod, but
Yeah, you had a
We
bombshell
didn't have-
drop on me.
we didn't have the pod last week.
Oh, right. Do you know? Or no? I'm going away.
You can tell me.
You can tell me. You can break up with him.
No, I'm going to be going away in September to Sri Lanka for a bit of travels. The actual set amount of time it's not finalised, but it's looking like maybe 6 months or so.
Why'd you scoff?
Going away and then 6 months.
I'm actually leaving the country.
I'm fleeing.
Yeah.
I'm fleeing. There's too many rules in this place.
Yep.
What rules are shackling you here?
We don't need to get into it. We don't need to get into it. Nah, I just had the desire to go on a bit of an adventure.
Why Sri Lanka?
Well, it's a tropical island. There's a lot of coast, a lot of surf, a lot of good weather, and apparently the people are some of the most beautiful people in the world. Sanji, she's a lovely lady. One of my clients, she was Sri Lankan. But yeah, no.
My drug dealer was.
Did he have the good shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. That's all you're saying.
You met him.
I did.
Then he got deported.
It was a happy day.
Are they the rules that they're keeping you here? That you need a flee for?
I actually think that the rules would be much stricter over there.
Yeah, probably.
Than they are here. No, but, well, I've been to South America and I did really want to get back to there, but just the time difference doesn't work too well. Because I think it's varies, but it's about 16 hours different in Latin America compared to Australia. And the plan is to be working online, so that time difference makes it difficult to work with clients that are in Australia. So then I was kind of searching for a place that is a similar vibe in terms of what it has to offer. And it was either Indonesia or Sri Lanka. And I've done Indonesia. And
You've done it all.
not all of it, but I've done
A week of it.
Oh, I've been there a couple times. I've been to different places. Been to Bali, of course, but I've also been to Sumatra and the Mentawais Islands.
Oh.
But yeah, people say that Sri Lanka is probably 10 years behind Bali, which...
Like in terms of tourism?
Yeah, no, in time, no.
10 years.
In terms of, yeah, like the tourism and how built up it is. And you can imagine how beautiful Bali would have been 10 years ago. It's beautiful now, but now it's just known for its tourism and it's overpopulated with Aussies. It's like little Australia. So that was appealing to me and being like, okay, I think I'd rather go to Sri Lanka. So yeah, that's exciting. That's exciting. The pod, what's going to happen?
What is going to happen?
Well, I said to Sam on the phone, I said, we got to really grow these roots, grow the roots, dig them into the ground so that it is
So we can't miss
solid. And by
How
the
long has
time,
it been since our last episode?
Don't talk about that.
by the time that I go, we have such rhythm and routine that we can make it work effortlessly. And hey, I'll be able to make it work. It'll be up to you two. It'll be up to you two back
That's
here.
a big ask.
You will need a camera. That's about it. Maybe a deck. You're welcome.
Yeah, come back here.
Sam and I were saying you're welcome to still come back here when I'm gone.
We just get like a voodoo doll of you and put it there.
Yeah. No, but we'll be able to make it work.
What was the time frame of like you thinking about going somewhere to purchasing plane flight?
About 45 minutes. No, well...
Do you find yourself being an impulsive person?
Nah.
No.
All right. No, I can be. I have been in the past. All right, let me have a
He's
drink
rattled.
of water.
Well, normally if I heard someone in 45 minutes decided they were going to move countries, I was probably a little bit impulsive.
No, so that was just me talking a bit of dribble. So I travelled Latin America. While I was over there, I loved it so much. And I travelled with friends or a friend, and it kind of was swapping and changing, people coming and going. But for a lot of the time when I was over there, I was just thinking, oh, I'd love to solo travel. I'd love to experience this on my own. I'd love to go into new situations where I kind of am forced to just meet new people and be very outgoing. And that really drawed me in. And then I got home, started working with you boys. And even then, I was still, when I first started working with you, I was still set on, I'm going back to Mexico. And I used to say it all the time. And that was like locked in. And then life happens. So you meet someone here and it changes your plans. You start working. All of your friendships and relationships that you have, they kind of take over. And that desire or that dream that you once had fades away. And then you kind of just get in the rhythm of just doing the same thing over and over, which is fine. Like I love life in Australia. I love doing what I'm doing. But I'd say through meditation, through some experiences of just making me question, like, am I prioritizing the time or the opportunities that I have whilst being single and not really having much responsibility? And then that brought to the surface, like, hey, you had this dream of solo traveling in South America again. And then just thinking about that then led to Sri Lanka. And then when that kind of resurfaced in my mind, it was very quick of being like, all right, I'm booking this in right now. And I just started looking at prices, being like, I wonder how much it actually is to go to Sri Lanka. And then kind of just clicked onto the next page, and to the next page. And then
There you're going.
And then I just ended up booking the flight. And then I was like, told mum and dad, just out of the blue, like, oh, I just booked a flight to Sri Lanka. They're like, what?
See you in 6 months.
Yeah, but I think when these things pop up, it's and it's something that is remembered, it's like grab it with both hands and don't let it go, and just do it, because the opportunity isn't going to be there forever, but it is here right now. So go for it. Anyway, I just talked for about 15 minutes straight. Mum told me before, let the other boys talk. And
It's a whole story though.
yeah, I know.
It's not for us to tell it for you.
Yeah. But yeah, so see what happens with all that. But as I said,
what are you planning to get out of it?
well, I think I just love the idea, because when you grow up in a place and people see you as a certain individual. Like they look at you and they already have their assumption of who you are. And it's like a part of what I want to teach people and what I really try and practice myself is leaning into your authenticity and being true to yourself. But even still that is such a priority, I still find like when I'm with certain people or go back into certain crowds, I can find myself like falling into that perception of who I am. And it's so easy to do that. Even with your family, it's like you fall into this character that slots straight into the family. In a workplace, you fall into that character that fits perfectly into that workplace. And so this idea of going to another country on your own, where you can 100% meet every single new person and approach every single new experience as your authentic self, because there's no perception of who you are, really like excites me.
How do you know you're being your true self and not just trying to be someone you hope they like or want to talk to?
Yeah, it's a tough question, I'd say. But it's just sticking to your morals, not like being able to say no, not following the crowd. I think it's even with my friends, like in the past, I was someone who found it hard to say no. And I was very much a yes man. I'd have my arm twisted super easy. Where now I'm the complete opposite, where I just stand for what's right. But even still, with the things that when I'm doing something or I'm just communicating them, I can kind of fall back into just being one of the boys sort of thing. Well, I don't know. It's a tough question, but I think
You'll figure it out over there.
yeah, I think it's a lot easier to let down someone that you've just met rather than let down someone who you've been friends with for 20 years. Like if someone, you don't have to agree with every single person you meet. It's like I'm only going to vibe and connect with the people that actually align with me. And if they don't, then I'll just move on to the next and do my own thing.
Yeah, fair.
I think we need to give the boomers more credit for what they got right. Like,
What'd they get right?
some of the stuff they got right, when they say things like, just don't think about it. Out of sight, out of mind. It's that damn phone.
It's that damn phone.
Cup of concrete.
Harden the fuck up.
They're right. And we treat them like they're decrepit.
They are
What does
decrepit.
decrepit mean?
Like,
Oh.
if your mum goes, it's that damn phone, like, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. It is the fucking damn phone.
Yeah, but they're more addicted to the phone than we are.
That's true, but like, they got it right.
So are we debating with, they got more right than they've got wrong?
No, there's definitely some stuff that's wrong, which is probably why someone's trying to leave. But I think we need to pay respect where it's due.
With your cup of concrete one, I reckon our generation, I suppose I'll go Gen Z and younger. Maybe
I don't know what the generations are, but sure.
So let's go
Our age and younger.
our age and younger.
Sorry, can I
Yeah.
just butt in for 2 seconds? Is boomers a legit term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But I'm
It's
just
like
using it
one
as
of
like the older.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like 1960s and older.
Okay. Keep going.
I think. Anyway, Come Concrete, where we get right with we hold our own in terms of, I'm going to say, with the workplace, where, because like baby boomers and even Gen X, where they just did whatever their bosses told them and were used as labor and just did it without any questions and worked too hard for what they probably should have been. Where I think we are better at holding up what we, it's not my job description, past my hours, obviously every now and then, depending what it is, do it, whatever. But rather, not getting taken advantage anymore, I think we do better. But in there's certain times where you could definitely be like, all right, people taking it too far and like, all right, it is your job. You have to do it. Stop complaining. I reckon is now nearly seeping into even younger. So people, 20-year-olds and stuff like that now. To your age, your child, they're taking it too far. We're like, all right, you're not even doing your job now. You're just being too lazy. In that aspect, definitely, it's going too far. I suppose, give a person a piece of string. How far do they take it?
I think comparing the boomers to now all the people in today's day and age, it's just two opposite ends of the spectrum. So they were too far one way, and now we have gone way too far the other way. So I think hopefully the next generation is just perfectly
Finding the middle ground.
in the middle.
I think you find that it's
middle.
just always going to be a
zigzag.
Yeah,
a
it's
swing.
just a complete swing.
Well, it always happens politically as well. You go right wing for X many years, and you're like, it always swings to left. You look at us now with Pauline Hanson beating the Liberals and polls. It always zigs and zags.
And they're all on the same team.
We're going,
We're not going there. We're not going there. We're not going there.
I don't know anything about Australian politics.
I don't think any of us do.
To your actual point, of course, there's going to be things that boomers got right. There's going to be a lot that they got wrong. And nowadays with us, there's things that we're doing right, but there's a lot of things that we're also doing wrong. That's where kind of actually looking back and paying attention to human behaviour and then comparing can help people find that middle ground. But not enough people...
Game theory.
Not enough people care. They just... The world is just happening to them, and...
So you think you're living too much in the present and just reacting straight away rather than looking at history to then go through?
I think they're over-rationalising everything. Not everything has to happen for a certain reason. You're just not focusing on the things that actually matter.
And like, give me an example.
Like, someone cuts me off in traffic. It's, how dare they fucking do that? Like, they meant that. Versus, someone just cut me off. Who gives a shit? Things happen.
They're on their phone.
Yeah,
I didn't even know what they were doing.
On the damn phone.
Exactly.
Damn phone. I had that thought process the other day because I cut someone off. Completely accidental. I was just in my own world, probably jamming out to some tunes, just loving it. And then I was like, oh shit, two lanes merging into one. And I just cut someone off badass. And I was just thinking, I could have just ruined someone's day. So that was first thing in the morning. But I didn't. But then if the roles were reversed and they could see what was actually going on in my car, they'd just be like, oh, mistakes happen. But they would have been assuming that fucking prick cut me off in that van.
That
Probably
fucking
a
van.
pedophile. Fucking pedo man.
It's not like. So we are both spiritual, like spiritually inclined, and Sam is more normal.
Normal.
When you say normal, would you say scientific?
Because isn't the majority of the population somewhat religious? So when you say I'm not normal,
I wouldn't say the majority is religious though, would you? Maybe in the past.
Yeah.
Not
Not yet.
today's
Today's age it wouldn't be.
People are Catholic,
But then
they go,
not
I don't
religious.
fucking believe in that shit.
Yeah.
It's a bit of hocus pocus.
Amen.
That's a book. But I want to hear, especially your opinion. What is the difference between spirituality and religion?
So I've definitely grasped this concept a lot better talking to you guys. I suppose at the start you just put them hand in hand with each other. Because one's religious, you're spiritual. But then, especially, I suppose, more talking to you, where people who are religious, I would say more just God did these specific things, where spiritual might be more, not one, I suppose I'm going to just say entity, it could be a vast majority, a wide range of things, where rather than it being just one man made this and you do these 5 different things, or you devote your whole life to one said personal group of things, whatever religion it is and whatever they're preaching, you're just going to that thing, where I suppose more spiritual is more of a way of life, how you bring out yourself, and I guess not as set in stone, what should I say?
I'd say they're very similar. They basically answer the questions: who are we? Like, what is this? And what do we do while we're here? Or how do we live the best life? That's pretty much the questions that spirituality and religion are both answering. So I think they're both very tight-knit in that sense. But I suppose religion, it's a set way of beliefs that someone else has created for the masses to follow.
Set of rules, nearly.
Yeah, set of rules. Where spirituality is more, you make up your own decision of what you want to believe in, and you can take different aspects from different religions based on what you believe aligns with your life. But for the most part, they're all interconnected and webbed together, because I feel like at every single religion's core is the same pure intent, which over time has just been corrupted by power and greed for the people who run them religions to hold the power over the followers. But at their very pure core, there is loving and peaceful intent. And then it just evolves into something that it wasn't originally. And I think that thing that it was originally, and that pure intent, is like where the real gold is, and is what spiritual seekers are after.
Do you think that normal, quote unquote normal people will judge a spiritual or religious person unjustly?
In what context? Like, say they're a spiritual person or like a religious person is, let's just preaching something, like judging in that way, or just in other...
Like, if someone's watching this and they go, Tristan's spiritual, I now have certain beliefs about him.
And is that unjust in said beliefs?
Like, he believes in...
Stereotyping,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
You're,
Do you reckon they get unjustly stereotyped?
I mean, the stereotypes for a reason. Nah. Definitely, I suppose you go in terms of, you always group people together just because that's how we think as humans. We like clumping things just to make ourselves able to understand things, because the unknown we don't like. So if I put Tristan as a tree hugger spiritual person, I feel like I got a better grasp on him and what his intentions or what he's going to do. I can categorize him over there. But if I actually speak and talk to them, I will probably get it completely wrong. So I guess in that aspect, probably, but I mean, we all do it anyway.
Because, like, what I think is, like, let's say that person thinks Tristan's a tree hugger because he's spiritual. You ask, what is spirituality? And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hugs trees and shit.
Yeah, trees and shit. He likes running around in bare feet, all that.
Cartwheels.
Cartwheels.
It's more so, I don't even know if, say, spiritual kind of has that impact on people. Because I feel like a big majority, they believe in something.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I don't know what I believe in, but I believe in there's something. And so that in itself is like, oh, so you're a little bit spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
But you believe that there is some sort of high power or invisible laws that govern this universe. But
What
it's
if
when...
I don't, though?
Oh, that's fine. Well, then...
He hates me.
No, that's... We can dive into it. We can dive into
No,
this.
so you go.
But I think it's when, like, the word God. The word God is a word that I have had fear of saying. Say, on my Instagram and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Up until this point, I've never said the word God. And I'm saying it right now. God. But when people hear the word God, it's like, oh.
Immediate turn off.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that bloke's a wacko.
Mm.
Because they just align it with Christianity, and Christianity is one where they really preach and try and push it onto people and say, if you're not this way, you're a sinner, you're going to hell and you're going to burn for eternal life. And that's kind of, it's a divide where God isn't, they have a God, of course, the Christians and the Jews and Hebrew, or Islamic.
Yeah.
They have their God, but in a spiritual sense, God is just this divine high power, all being, all knowing, infinite, invisible. So I think that in itself is something that really triggers people to be like, this bloke's crazy.
So probably what they're going to be like to this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
I already switched off. That's all right.
All right. Let's...
Can I pee first?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I pee for?
Okay. So, for the most part, there's... People hold on to two beliefs, for the most part. One, that there is some sort of higher power that we can name God, that is the creator of all things, of all beings, of us three. The other belief would be the Big Bang. Would you say that they're the two beliefs that are held about, say, the kind of creation of
life.
the universe and
Those
us?
are two main ones.
Two main ones.
Because, never mind.
No,
You go.
just do the two main ones.
Yep, two main ones.
We'll do the two main ones.
Yep.
Okay, so the Big Bang is what it actually was a rapid expansion of space. What was before this? No one knows. Why it happened? No one knows. Like, how it happened? Can't be answered. No one knows. Through this rapid expansion, there was some elements that were formed which created stars. These stars lived for billions of years, died, exploded, scattered all of their elements into the universe. They formed clouds. These clouds come together, formed planets, formed Earth. On Earth, in the ocean, there was a single cell life form that formed, which then evolved into very complex organisms, and here we are. So both are far-fetched. Like, all of that happening, it's just a coincidence, really, that we're here, and the fact that there could be a creator that is the all-being, all-knowing, infinite. Both of them are far-fetched. But when you look at the life that we are living, when you look at our human body and all the complexity of all the systems that take place in order for us to keep surviving, the beauty that's around us, all of the different animals, everything, like, is it more likely that it is coincidence or that there is a divine creator? Like, what sounds more convincing? Because both are very far.
Like I say, the broad spectrum of people believing in religion and stuff like that in terms of beginning of life is because, as you said, with the Big Bang being an unknown, we still don't really know exactly why. I reckon that's people's answer is this all being, because as I think I said before, the unknown scares us as humans. So people like putting a label to it that gives us comfort, being a higher power has made everything the way it is. They like the answer of saying something rather than saying, we don't know why. And they're accepting an unknown as an answer rather than...
But would you like to... But like, what's more comforting, the fact that we have been created with a divine plan and motive, or the fact that we're just coincidence?
I think the beauty that this is a coincidence is the good thing in itself. Like, the fact that all this is random chance, that all this has happened in the way it has, is the beauty in the nature, rather than thinking someone has created us. And as that, like, obviously that goes into different paths, whether that means our fate is aligned or why there's certain things that happen within us as humans because of something. I don't like the, like, say something has created us in terms of, I suppose, let's say humans. Why do cancers exist? Why does poverty happen and X, Y, and Z when they could have instantly, like, well, I've made you to have a nice life. Why doesn't it stay like that? Instead, I suppose it's more like a storyline path rather than life creating itself sort of thing.
With, like, the whole illnesses, the deaths and things like that, it's almost like ascribing what's the fucking word for it? Like a motive. You're ascribing, like, God made this to hurt people, but what if he doesn't have that much of a thought about it? What if his whole thing was, let's put animals in this tank and then let them find beauty of life, and I'm doing no more about it?
So you're saying even with the let's just say war, illness and whatever, that's just the all being created the way we are, and then we actually took the controls from there. That he didn't plant basically what happened.
Free will.
If he is all being, all knowing, that means he has no emotional connection. That means he has no say in it. He's not a player in the game. He's just observing. And the fact that life ends and we have such a small amount of time is what allows us to have beauty.
And it's also, to, like, just add on to what you just said just then, it's like we'll never know what good is without evil. Like, you never know what complete beauty is without ugliness.
There's nothing to compare it to.
Because the universe is probably made of, like, polarities, right? With every single thing, there's an opposite. Hot, cold, up, down, left, right. Like, throughout all of anything we can observe, there's one side and another side. But then what happens if every single one of those things was brought together? And that is where, at least what I would consider, is God. So he doesn't have a say in left or right, up and down, what is right and wrong.
He just is.
Just is. And therefore, I believe he is the only thing that has no polar. There's one energy that cannot have a polarity, which is love.
So within saying of he is then all being, so is this where simulation theory comes into play, where we're experiencing things for him just to learn more?
There's the issue with those things is I believe to be an issue with those things is you're like trying to figure out something that we possibly will never know in this life. Like, as I said before, we're trying to rationalize too much. Like, we will probably never understand his motive because we aren't omnipotent, we aren't omniscient. We probably don't have the faculties within a brain, even though how complex it is, we can't understand something that grand. So, we just have to try to find the meaning of life.
Then where does I suppose, the Bible and everything and their stories that are coming from that lead to in terms of, I suppose, this topic of all being higher power? Because, like, within, like, the Bible, there's a burning, talking bush and someone splitting a whole sea in two. Like, do you guys believe that happened? Or do you reckon it's just someone telling stories and that's how they've just made it more extravagant to tell the story across?
This is not a religious belief, but I believe that the Bible and all mythologies and everything, all religions, all the stories are allegorical. So,
Speaking in riddles.
Speaking in riddles, there's a meaning behind it. So
rather than actually happening, you think, here's a way I can, like, let's say, like a movie. Mm-hmm. Here's the ultimate storyline and point, and the Bible is a story to tell said point.
And you can make your own meaning off of what it's saying in the Bible.
Yeah, rather than, because I feel like that's where a lot of people, I suppose, where religion and spirituality gets muddled, where a lot of people probably believe those things specifically happen within religion rather than being a overall arching story or point of what the teachings try to be.
Yeah. And humans back in the day didn't have a 9 to 5, didn't have any doom scrolling to do. So
no battery.
Our brain was basically just always trying to create. I believe that's like the founding aspect of us and what we are inclined to do. We always want to create. So we were very creative, and back in the day, how do you get your point across? You make a story. That way, if you can act it out in a play, even if someone doesn't speak the same language as you, you're portraying your message. You can carry that message through so many mediums, but we've lost that creativity today.
So then what, let's just bring it back to then, I suppose the classic debate between the two of them is evolution then. Does, in your area, just like evolution still exist? Like, were there always dinosaurs and crap like that, or was it always humans from the beginning?
In a lot of the stories and say philosophies and religious beliefs that I've looked at is that there's all the animals were created and then we were kind of the last thing to be created, which was then given control over the world because we have the ability to talk.
Critically think.
Yeah, critically think. All that, but Lockie might have a better answer than what I just said.
It comes down to like your own belief. Like, we are both spiritual, but we like probably have like different sects or something like that. But in what I believe, it's basically, as Tristan said, the animals and everything were created, and someone thought, this isn't as beautiful as I'd hoped.
Let's chuck humans in.
Chuck them and create them in the image of myself. But then also, like, you could take...
How do you know where the image of the higher power?
Well, what's the one thing we have that nothing else does?
I suppose consciousness is what you're going with there?
Yeah.
So then you just assume our consciousness is them then?
Well, all throughout history, every sort of civilization, or even just groups of people, like even before the major civilizations, like you got like the pagans and stuff, which was just worshipping nature, they came to this exact conclusion as well, where the main belief is that the universe is modular. So basically, all the big things are made up of a group of little things, all the little things made up of a group of littler things. But that means everything that the little one is also the big. Everything the big thing is also the little thing. So we are everything is us.
Put in an example for me. Paint a picture.
It's like God is the creator of all things, that consciousness, and we have that consciousness in us. So therefore we have a bit of God within us.
So then all of us make him.
We are all God and God is all of us.
All hot tubs are jacuzzis,
unified.
but not all jacuzzis are hot tubs.
Yep. Perfect analogy.
Nailed it.
But you can take allegorical meaning behind the dinosaurs as well. If man has a divine, like the God sort of aspect of him, consciousness, has also a more quote-unquote animalistic self. If man were to sort of look away from that higher nature, he'd be pretty animalistic, and the earth was roamed just by monsters, basically. Then that goes into a bit of occult / esotericism of, did dinosaurs themselves actually exist? What are those bones we found, which goes into so many conspiracies.
This is going too far.
That goes into so many conspiracies.
We need to dive
but
into that.
Reining it back, it could be taken as humans were lost, basically.
What if I then go to, well, I'll bring it back to where you said like pagans all like came to the same concept as we do now, where one is all is one, yada yada. What if that's just our human ability to think is just capped? Obviously now we're able to think deeply more than we were back then, but that's just our ability to think is just capped regardless. And that's that our IQ can only think and expand so much to what we can actually conceptualize in itself, and not actually it being we are one.
What makes you say we are smarter
Than like other animal life forms?
than back then?
I suppose I'll go with more physical things, medicine, technologies.
Are we smarter though?
Alright, if I had to live back then, they would live longer than I would if me myself was put into that setting, just because they've grown up with it. But if they were brought here, they wouldn't know how to survive either. But they're more likely to survive because we have the more resources.
They'd be able to survive. They just wouldn't live in this world. They wouldn't live in the same like social setting that we are.
No, but I
Still
suppose
be able
what
to
I say,
survive.
like, but I go with like, with our life expectancy and stuff like that, we've been able to extend everything, so we're smarter in that forms. We've been able to produce more things. Where, like back then, if I was put into them, I would die a lot quicker. Where if they were brought here, we have more resources to keep them further. I suppose I'm calling that smarter.
Do you think society is built off of something smarter? If you take down the internet, everything's cooked. Where back then they were more so introspective. How do I make my life good? Like, what standard are we using for smartness? They didn't want technology.
No, well, they didn't know what it was though back then, because they didn't have the ability to know. Like, we see all like the movies now of like Doomsday and shit like that. World goes to shit, The Walking Dead and stuff like that. We're useless. I wouldn't know how to. If I go back 50 years ago and say I know what the internet is, I couldn't be able to tell them. I couldn't be the creator of the internet back then. So, like, yes, I would say as a collective as a whole, we're smarter because more people have the ability to learn maths, literacy, and stuff like that, and science. The general concepts of what we call, I suppose, IQ, got more than the ability of the people back then.
You're never going to get to a final answer because there's different types of smart
smartness
that are going to.
Like, there's book smart and social smart and stuff like that as well.
And it's like you're going to value different people are going to value different things. Different timelines are going to value different things. So you can't really.
Well, as we get more technologically advanced, what happens to our well-being?
it's getting worse.
So then, who's really winning?
The guy who invented fire. Ooh, Unga Bunga. He was living the life.
He was.
I mean, I suppose if you're going straight off that, then I guess if you want to go straight of maybe they're happier, but I suppose I'd rather live in my life now than Stone Ages.
But you don't know what the life you might have lived back then. You might have been at complete peace.
A lot of beer.
You might have there's a high chance that you could have been in complete inner peace with your circumstance.
That's all I know of.
In today's day and age, there is just complete chaos, internal chaos around us.
I suppose you would find peace within the ignorance of not knowing what is out there. Like, I'm saying this in this stage, I'm saying the grass is greener on our side than it is back in the Stone Ages. You saying you would be fine back then?
No, I'm not saying my current self would be fine. No way. But I'm saying the people who are alive then, I think would have had much more inner harmony than what we do today.
Yeah, I'm saying, and might say it's because they might be dumb and they don't know what's better.
But then, why would we not want to be dumb?
Then? Yeah.
We know too much. We live in an information world that is holding us back and keeping us stuck.
You reckon the more information we get is overwhelming us and then don't know what to do with it?
Well, we don't do anything with it for the most part. We know more than ever, but we do less.
Yeah, and I suppose that's more society, the way society's built than anything.
It's probably been built like that for a reason. There's people who have done that. Anyway, we won't go into that. But what I will say, do you want to say anything more on what we're talking about now?
Are you going to go off topic?
Not off topic.
Okay.
On topic, but still...
Sidestep.
Yeah,
Quick point.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I believe that the pure form with no polarity is love, right? So, hate is just absence of love. It's not a force. I don't believe that there's actually a negative force within us. It's just the absence of the positive. And what I think has happened over time, like since modern science was quote unquote founded, we've moved towards knowledge and we've sort of lost that positivity where the more we learn, we're leaning away from it, which is why all the life has been stripped out of life today.
So, like, meaning as we learn more, we remove ourselves from what you guys were saying, like, in the essence of all spirituality leads to one thing of, I'm just going to use the Bible's notion of be good to one another and that sort of stuff. Yeah,
love thy neighbour.
Love thy neighbour, yeah, that. So you're saying as we learn more, we remove ourselves from that?
Yeah, like our brain's just getting overloaded with information. It is, like, even the most esteemed, like, preachers or stuff, they struggle with their faith, but I believe that's just because society, just due to the fact of whatever, has been leaning away from that one major force. And the more we learn, the more we move away from it.
Why would you say we're moving away from it, though?
Like, look at every sort of like metric of society. Like, one massive example is like architecture. Architecture used to be beautiful. Now look at the buildings today.
Mundane.
Look at the logos of everything. Logos used to have like personality. Now it's just like
simple,
basic letter.
Yep.
Where it's almost like modernism is just moving us from love.
Is that because you don't like what you see, or you just like what people did back in the day?
I don't know it. I didn't experience it back in the day.
Well, you can look at it, though.
What would you say is a more like authentic expression of people's selves? What is getting put out there today, or what was created in the past?
In terms of like art, or just anything in general?
Oh, well, exactly the topics that Lockie said. Yeah, architecture, art.
everything is a bit more, I suppose, brutalist or simplistic.
It's all efficiency.
Yeah, definitely more is today than back then.
And even, say, right now we're making content, but even content creation, it is all put out there as a way to get clicks and views. Like, people stray away from what's actually real to them and true to them in order to please the masses, which is just creating Instagram, which is just full of all the same shit, which is just another way of people like going away from what actually really matters and what is true to them and authentic to them, and just trying to fit into this narrative that is being pushed.
It's because everything these days is just efficiency, algorithm based. So if you want to try and make it big in the world in that way, then you have to just do what the system likes.
And even like a regular working person, they have love for their family, but to provide for your family, you have to work your fucking ass off. So it's just not even like ill intent. It's just the way that everything has been shaped at the moment. It's all efficiency, money to live, where I think that's like the main thing.
And you don't think it was 100 years ago, 200 years ago?
Well, even
we're going back
100 years ago it might have been.
Yeah.
100 years ago, people were making things out of passion, and through like look at how much, as we said, like the boomers have, like they have a lot more and had a lot more ability to like sort of buy things or whatever. Where now it's like you have to join the efficiency machine just to survive.
Or go to Sri Lanka.
Or go to Sri Lanka. 10 years behind.
10 years
I was 10 years ago.
The world was better 10 years ago. I suppose in that concept, like, you could go with the argument of, as humans, we've already been able to create and develop so many things. Is there the ability to create new things still? Like there's one podcast I listen to. They always go, "Oh, we've thought of a podcast topic, but Hamish and Andy have already done it because it's been running for so long." But I suppose then you can go with the argument of, we've been living a life that's been pushing to this efficiency. We've lost our creativity, so then that's why we're not creating new things, though.
But even, it doesn't have to be completely new to the world.
No.
It can be new to you. Like, you don't
just
know.
has to be you.
You don't know that it's out there. A lot of the time. Sometimes you might, but
Yeah,
it's just create.
I reckon that stuff is still happening just as much as it was 100 years ago. It's just whether or not you're finding the ability to find new things.
Do you think the average person is creating? Or do you think they're mainly consuming?
Definitely more consuming, but
There's minimal creation.
Yeah.
All of your friends, are they creating things?
One friendship group, yeah.
Oh,
the other,
that's good.
Maybe not so much. But then I reckon the same thing would have been said though 200 years ago. Most people would have just been doing their
So the
one
boomers
job.
had it right.
No, I reckon
That's the damn phone.
I reckon it's the same amount. Split-wise, people are creators, people are consumers. I reckon it's the same amount. I don't reckon maybe way back early, but even then in tribes and stuff, people still there would have been higher leaders who would have been creators and been like, look at this new thing, and most people are followers, I would say.
So like even before like TVs and touchscreen phones, that is just a consuming machine.
Yeah, I reckon more people were consumers overall than they were creative back in the day, still.
Really?
Yeah. I reckon
But do you think that, like, fair enough, if someone creates, 1 million people can consume, but do you think the ratio has changed at all?
I reckon not to the extent you guys believe.
Okay.
I'm sure it probably has a bit, but that hasn't gone from the 50-50 to then now it's 90-10.
That's fine. We don't even need to argue about this really. But to get to what I wanted to say, because it's very much like I think it's just aligning.
Hit me with it.
No, because my whole thing was the thing that I said earlier on. Actually, I don't think I said it when we were filming. Anyway, I'll
just start from the start.
I'll start from the start. So, if you want to help someone, or you think that someone could benefit by a change, you can't force that change onto them. You need to lead by example, because if you just force onto them, they're just going to have pushback and it's going to do more harm than good. But you need to lead by example. And so with this whole theory, you can look at, if God was real, and we're going to assume that God is real, what would God be known for? And 3 things that I ended up kind of leaning towards is creation, because if God is real, it is the creator of all of this, of you and I. Love, God has given everything, yet receives nothing, which is love. And the 3rd would be curiosity. So God has created this, put animals here, nature, humans, and given us free will with no instruction manual. Just allows it to play out however it will and see what happens. That's very curious. So we can take this thing and go, well, if this is God, if that is what God is known for, then maybe that is the meaning of life. And it's just simplifying it to what you were saying before, not
Rationalising
not
everything.
rationalising everything and going, how can we simplify it to be like, if I'm creating a reality that I want to live in through the choices that I make, through the actions that I take, creating life, so starting a family, raising a family, or could even be just leading by example to those closest to you, creating better lives for them, or creating things that are a direct expression of your authentic self, which is what we're just talking about, which could be art, it could be music, it could be building a house, it could be building furniture, it could be doing a podcast, creating. And then there's love, which is, as we said before, love your neighbour as yourself, like acting with the well-being of all involved, always giving without needing to receive, unconditional love. And then curiosity, which is just approaching the world in an open way, and not limiting yourself with old beliefs, assumptions, judgments of what things are, and just looking at things with fresh eyes. But if we live our life according to them 3 principles, then I think no matter the circumstance you're in, you are going to live a life that is full of inner peace. And there's going to be circumstances that are still not fun and not enjoyable, but if you go back to them 3 principles at all times, which we could say could be God's principles, it's going to hold you in such good stead. And that's just like simplifying it. And that's something that I've been really thinking about lately, and just been like, it's so complicated and there's so much information everywhere, but if we could just
break it down
and just go, well, if God was real, what would he be doing?
Why do you need God to be real to be able to do those things though? Say it was just the Big Bang, why can't you just do those things anyway?
I think it gives a bit of sense of, like, he's right. If he's all knowing, all whatever, he's right. You don't have to guesswork it. If there is no God, it's like, who cares then? Who cares about these core tenets?
Yeah.
And another thing, if God was real, I think this material life that we're currently experiencing is just a piece to the puzzle. And there's more
after death.
Where if it's just the Big Bang, it's like we are this material being. When we're dead, see you later. Lights out. It's all over. And there's no, like, do you believe in sort of governing laws if it's the Big Bang? Like, do you believe that things happen for a reason, or do you think it's just is? You can do whatever the fuck you want, there's no consequence.
Well, obviously things happen for certain reasons of just like,
But what is that reason?
I punch Lucky in the face his nose bleeds, he might hate me. Like, that obviously happens for a reason, and that has butterfly effect down the road. That might make Lockie hate someone else down the road for whatever reason. But
that's not really much of a consequence.
Well, I suppose what larger consequences are you? I suppose things happen for a reason. You're more trying to get towards.
Well, I just think our inner state, or the external reality that we are living in, is a straight reflection of what is happening internally. So if I punch Lockie in the face,
You're angry
I've got
inside.
some inner chaos that is leaking out into reality.
Yeah, probably, because you're obviously acting on certain impulses for a reason.
And then to further that point, whatever energy like you are operating from is what
Projecting.
Yeah, well, you project it outwards, but you also draw it towards you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like that's. I suppose we're telling the same story with two different ways going about it. I reckon.
With an allegory.
Sure. With an allegory of like whatever you put out in the world, you're probably going to get back. But I don't reckon that's any spiritual meaning behind it, though.
How is that not spiritual?
Like
What
if
does
you
spiritual mean?
exactly.
How is that not spiritual, though? You're thinking that is like we can't. It's not material. It's not.
I mean, I suppose like if I only do ever good things, but that doesn't mean only good things will ever happen back to me, though.
No, because everyone's got free will, so there's going to be consequences for other people's actions as well.
But I reckon if you do the things that make you happy, you're more likely to put yourself in positions that allow you to be happy, though, rather than things like happening for a reason, if that makes sense.
Would you say there's a correlation between the actions that people take being more benefiting actions or negatively affecting actions based on the way that they see the world? Like, would you say spiritually people are more inclined to kind of make choices?
If you think the world's out to get you, you're more likely to inflict harm onto others.
More likely to be got.
Yeah.
Say that again.
If you think the world's out to get you, you're going to get got.
Yeah.
Like you're going to find yourself in reasons to being, the world's only ever out to get me. You're always going to be victim.
Would you say that
blaming.
people are spiritually inclined?
To think negatively?
No,
Or-
just spiritually inclined in general. Someone who is a victim and thinks that the world is out to get them, are they spiritually inclined at all?
I would say they're on the less side of it.
Could they benefit from being more spiritually inclined? Could their view on what's going on in their reality change?
Well, then you're just trying to... That's where you come to the key proponents of what you're saying, what spiritual is. Love, being curious and creativity. But like, I see those things as just being human, being good, like trying to live a full life rather than it being spiritual.
What about that being human is so special? What is that within us?
Is, I suppose, like we have the ability to do that where a dog doesn't.
Why?
Because of consciousness, yes.
Why do we have, if we've all evolved from the same thing, why do we have consciousness and they don't?
If God's made everything, made animals and everything, so why don't they have consciousness?
Well, because he created the world that way.
Then, so why wouldn't it be the Big Bang that we all happen we're just that higher, more evolved that we've happened to develop with consciousness?
Well, I think if you're more in the crowd of once you die, that's it, black screen, done, that will probably lead to like a fear of death, right? Most likely.
Yeah.
Who do you think has a better life? Someone that lives not necessarily scared of death, thinking that's just the next step, or someone that is fearful of death?
Obviously, the person who's not fearful of death is going to have a better life because then they're not living in fear. Then you're gonna more likely to explore and do other things, live a fuller life, because you're not scared of hunkering down and just being like, I got to do what's safe. For sure.
Yeah. at the end of the day, I think all three of us are examples that we believe different things, but we're all on the right path. So it doesn't matter.
No.
It comes down to choice. But it's good to talk about it and see both sides of the story, perception.
Coin.
Coin.
One of them.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that. Hopefully you liked to listen to that and found it interesting. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you believe the meaning.
Who do you agree with?
Who won?
Who won?
No, there's no competition. Hopefully we didn't bore you. Hopefully you don't think that we're wackos.
I do, and I'm with you, so can't be that bad.
We'll see you on Ep 3.